So I'm all finished the other side now. I just wanted to mention to make sure that the brake line is parallel to the caliper. Make sure it's not twisted, and then you should be all good to go. Now I just need to to bleed the brakes afterwards. Just make sure this is not twisted, because if this is twisted and you don't see that, then you will have a brake failure. There's a raccoon snooping around. It's coming after me now. So now I'm working on the rear brakes now. I'm going to get off the rotor screw first before anything. You want to make sure that the parking brake is not on. So we're using an impact driver here to get this off. This is not working, so we're gonna have to do something else now. I'm gonna see if I can use a chisel that has the pointy part here, and then we're gonna try to drive it out. Try to hit the corners here. Now it's out. In most cases, the impact driver will probably work, but you will have some times where it will not work. And I use the chisel method. And then if that does not work, then usually I just use the air hammer, and I drive the whole thing out. So now we're just going to remove the caliper pin. It's a 12 millimeter. I'm just going to take the caliper off now. Remove the pads. Now there's a two 17 millimeter bolts that holds down the caliper bracket. now I'm just going to push the piston in. I want to go very slowly to not, so you don't damage the dust seal here. Trying to put this on the side here. Just make sure you don't hang these calipers by the brake hose. So now I'm just going to remove the rotor now. Now if they don't come off easily, then you would need to back off the adjuster here that's at the bottom and adjust it. And now it's a good time to check for a wheel bearing if there's any issues. This one, it seems to be okay. I don't think it's that noisy or noisy. Really hard to tell, but now use a screwdriver to remove the rubber boot here on the old rotor. And make sure you don't lose these. Make sure you put this back on the new rotor, because you don't want water to get inside. So now I'm just going to wash off all of the brake dust first, and then we're going to service the parking brake and do the adjustment. You want to take note that there is a washer here at the bottom to where the caliper bracket mounts against, and there's supposed to be one on top, but I see that it's missing here. There's a washer right here. So make sure you take note of the washers and make sure that they are there. There's one that's missing already, so I'm not able to do anything about that. And so right now we're just going to clean the hub first, and then we're going to service the shoes and clean everything, and then we're gonna lubricate and adjust the star wheel for the parking brake. So now we're just going to sand down the shoes and service the parking brake here. We're going to wash it down with brake cleaner now. So now we're going to lubricate the contact points in the back here. I'm going to lift up, to push back a little bit, and lubricate the contact points in behind the shoe. I'm using fluid film. There are 3 on each side, so a total of 6. I'm going to lubricate the springs too if you want. Use a screwdriver to pull back here. Now if you look at the star wheel adjuster, you're able to see the threads in the inside. So it's opened up. So you can see here. So I'm gonna go as much as I can to open this up and try to put on the brake rotor. If I'm not able to put on the brake rotor, then I will need to back this up until I'm able to get the brake rotor on. Then that would be the perfect adjustment for the parking brake. It's going to be difficult to get this on camera here. So I'm going to, you can use either your fingers to adjust these, or you can use a flathead screwdriver. So I'm going to see if I need to adjust this, and then I'm going to put the brake rotor on. I'm going to spray some fluid film on the hub. And just make sure you compare the old part along with the new part. Make sure they're all the same. I'm just going to give this a quick clean with a brake cleaner to get rid of any residual oils. I like to spray a little bit of fluid film. You can spray some silicone or add some grease, so it'll be easier to reinstall. You may need to use a screwdriver to push it in. So we're just gonna attempt to install the rotor. You can keep adjusting until you're not able to install the rotor on anymore. I think this should be okay, so I'm just going to leave it. Until you feel there's resistance, then you know that that's where the adjustment should be. You may need to back off the adjuster if it fits in too loose, and then you're too far. Then you will need to open up the adjuster. You need to make sure you see the threads inside the adjuster. If you don't see the threads, then it means that the adjuster is not open up wide enough. I'm going to install a new rotor screw in here. Now we're just going to service the caliper now, the bracket, to clean all the rust off. So now we're just gonna clean the slider pins here. So now I clean these up, so I'm just going to lubricate them with the silicone brake lubricant, the green stuff. I'm just gonna use the orange stuff now just to lubricate the contact points here. I'm just gonna install the clips here. Make sure they are seated in properly. As for the squealer, I'm not going to I'm not going to install these. And you're just gonna lubricate the contact points on the clips. I'm going to put the bracket aside and just clean the rust on the bolts. I do have a bench grinder downstairs in the basement, but I don't feel like going right now. I'm just gonna use this to clean it. I put some anti-seize on the bolts already here. I'm kind of in a hurry because I've had so much work to do, so I don't really have time to make a perfect brake job video. It's been very stressful, so there's a lot of work to be done on this van. So don't forget the washers. If you have washers on the back of the steering knuckle here, there's one washer that's supposed to be on top, but it's missing, so I can't do anything about that. This bolt is giving me a hard time trying to thread this in. We'll have a look at the torque specs, and I will put the torque specifications on the screen. And yeah, if you guys don't have a torque wrench, you can just tighten these down as hard as you can, but don't over tighten them. The ones in the back, there's the aluminum steering knuckle here, so you don't need to tighten them as tight as the ones in the front. You don't want to damage anything. So now we're gonna install the new brake pads. I sprayed some disc brake quiet here on the brake pad, so now it's all dried up now. So we're gonna install these. So now we're just going to lubricate the ears of the pads. Install these in the back here. So now just do the same for the other side. You may need to wipe down the grease if there's any. This one did not have the clips here, although they have the holes here, but it never came with the spring clips, which you put inside the holes of the brake pads. I forgot to mention earlier, you want to do all of your cleaning first. Then after you're done, you don't have to do any more cleaning, because you don't want to get any of the rust particles or debris onto the new stuff. So I forgot to show that earlier. I just needed to clean the caliper area. sure it's clean in the back here. So now we're all done here. Just need to install the caliper and reinstall the bolts. Take note that the flat side hitting against the caliper here. So you don't want to, otherwise it will get jammed in between. You want to be careful. I'm just going to install the caliper bolts now. I'll put the torque spec on the screen for you for these bolts. And now at the very end, you just want to make sure that there's no excess lubricant inside, because that's going to cause an airlock. I probably have stated that quite a few times in some of my brake job videos. So you want to squeeze the boot to make sure there's no excess lubricant, and you want to double check your work after. You want to push the caliper back and forth, make sure it's moving freely and that nothing is locked up. Just gonna clean everything down. And just make sure that the brake hose is running parallel to the caliper. Make sure it's not twisted. So I may have found the issue with the noise, which I thought earlier it was a wheel bearing noise. And you can tell it's not perfectly flat. There's a lot of uneven bumps here. As soon as I put my hand over here, I run my hand down and I feel like it's going up and down. So it could be that the rear shocks are worn out, causing this tire wear. And you probably won't be able to see it on camera, but these tires are pretty bad and very uneven here. You probably can't see it, but you'll be able to feel it. And you can see here, you see the sipes here, and here there's nothing, and there's something here. It's not even on the outer edge here. Not so much in the middle, more on the outer edges. So I believe this is the noise. I purchased 2 rear tires for the customer, so I'm going to install those.